Hello, my name is Dan Johnson and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the next episode of Doctor Who Series 1, which is entitled Rogue, which is of course the Bridgerton episode as it is dubbed. It must be so exciting for the writers that they make two jokes, both about it being like Bridgerton. The concept of this story is that the Doctor and Ruby have gone to a Regency ball in order to have fun. But while at this ball, they discover a bounty hunter called Rogue and a bunch of shape-shifting aliens that Rogue is trying to hunt down. As this episode was part of the primary marketing for this show, along with The Devil's Cord, there's a lot of production material and stuff like that that we know about with this story. I would say that this story is the one I've been most looking forward to because I feel like there's an amazing chance here to give us a really great episode of Doctor Who. And for the most part, I think it delivers. I shall talk about my negatives about it later, and I think in time will weigh up whether I feel like these issues do spoil the episode for me, or am I able to watch this multiple times and be able to call this my favorite of the series? Because it's something that I'm sort of thinking about now. Is thinking, yeah, do you know what? I really, really enjoyed this episode, but do I think it's the best? I'm not sure yet. It's definitely the most I've been excited for a story, and at the end of it, I was very excited by it. But as time's gone on, I have thought more and more about it and realised that things don't work. But we'll stick with the positives first. Shooty is absolutely brilliant in this story. His comic delivery, the joke about Kylie Minogue and the music when he keeps turning it on and off. I think with other Doctors that would become very, very grating. But Shooty adds this bit of pizzazz to it each time, this charisma that keeps oozing off the screen. There's just a lot of charisma in that guy, and he really can carry an episode when the plot's a bit boring. I talked about this episode being a Bridgerton-like episode, and if there's one thing that the BBC can do, it's Bridgerton. It's period dramas, and it definitely delivers here. There is a really fun vibe behind this story as well. I think a lot of that is carried by the script and having fresh blood, right for Shooty and right for a Doctor, somebody that's not really done so before, because you get plenty of lines of dialogue, lots of interesting ways of approaching certain things that are a bit sort of like a checklist now in Doctor Who, like character walks into the TARDIS, adding a new element to that by singing Willy Wonka, for example, which is a strange thing, but it does work. So the general vibe of this episode feels very fresh, and I really enjoyed that. Although it is a bit of a pain that last week when we had the end of Dot and Bubble, there was something in me that thought that we would have some sort of fallout from that. And will the Doctor be a darker Doctor or anything like that? And it kind of lessens that episode a little bit to have something so dark, something so Black Mirror, and then to be literally the opposite and make something extremely fun. And you kick off this episode and the Doctor is having fun at a ball, kind of lessens that blow, I think, a little bit. The interactions between Rogue and the Doctor were really, really good as well. There's plenty of flirting, which is quite nice to see. And the fact that Rogue and the Doctor went so far in such a short amount of time compared to Yaz and anything like that is quite a bold move for Russell to do. I was just like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme with the you pointing at the screen. That's exactly what I did. As those Doctors spun past, I was looking at all the faces going, yeah, that one, that one. Who's that guy? I'm not sure. And I went, that's Richard E. Grant. They've just canonised the Schalke Doctor. It is quite funny to me that this era has all been about new things and introducing it to a new audience, and they put in something that's so deep in Doctor Who lore and they make it canon. It's incredibly funny. But anyway, let's focus on the episode itself. The Schalkers, is that what they're called? The shapeshifter aliens of the episode um, are quite cool in terms of look and idea. Although, if you break down their plan, I'm not sure it actually works. Why would they want to have a wedding? I understand that they want to sort of play around with their identity and switch faces to who is the coolest person at the party. I quite like that. There's that element, and that works well. But their actual end game, I don't think lands. I think they needed an end game for the story for it to progress. And sort of adding in sort of world domination and stuff like that just feels a bit like a plan with no motivation. And that's a bit of a shame. I would say having this thing run around the party, trying to change into different people and it becoming a guessing game of who is currently the shapeshifter would probably be more fun. But having it marry Ruby, which wouldn't be Ruby anyway, it would be the shapeshifter, you do have to wonder why they did all that. And as much as I said I enjoyed the interactions between the Doctor and Rogue, it is kind of underplayed, or rather, it's underdeveloped. There was a flirty element there, but for it to go to the extremes that it did, it felt like they were doing it for TikTok edits and sort of us to sit there and be like, oh, I can't believe this is so adorable, but there's no substantial sort of backing behind any of this relationship. It's just that the Doctor meets Rogue, he decides instantly that he likes him, and they like each other, and then they do a bit of flirting, and then they keep piling things on without that substantial relationship, where it's like there's the proposal bit, and then there's the sacrifice and things like that. Really, if you cut out some of the extremes in that relationship, having that little flirty element in the TARDIS and things like that would work really well, so that then at the end, when he throws the ring or something like that, you then have that sort of longing of this could be something interesting for the Doctor, but never got there. And I think a lot of that is because of the runtime. When you have all of these elements, and that's also why the bad guys are slightly undeveloped as well, because the runtime is only 45 minutes. And within this time, there's so much to do that you can't really take your time with establishing this relationship and taking the Doctor away to really work out what this relationship is and have them do things together, so that by the end, when Jonathan Groff's character Rogue actually sacrifices himself, you've got that established relationship. And they tried their best to make that happen, but I think it takes a bit of willpower on the audience's part to sort of be invested in it. You know, why do we really need to care? If you take 9 and Rose or 10 and Rose, they had 13 episodes to develop a relationship. You know, when you look at the first episode, Rose, you have maybe like a couple of inklings that she likes the Doctor, etc. But then as you go through, they become more and more. And with this, it just feels like we jumped to episode 13 of their relationship without actually having the groundwork. This time I am skipping a week because I'm away. I'm hoping to watch the story because it's the big reveal of who Susan Twist is playing. Please be Sutek. And it's very, very exciting. Hopefully I'll be watching it in Corfu on Disney Plus. Hopefully. If not, it's going to be a long week until I get back. That was the saddest sentence I've ever said. So I will be posting Legend of Ruby Sunday and Emperor of Death reviews together. If you want to go and check out my Twitter, or the X as it's now called, I will have some sort of a viewpoint on there after I've seen the episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you soon. Goodbye.